What happens when emotion, intuition, and awareness all meet at a turning point? This Pisces full moon is a lunar eclipse, and the astrology creates a fascinating tension between what we already know and something within us that's been asking to be felt differently. Hey there, this is Jojo from 7th Plane Healings and astrojo.com with the Astrosonics, where we go on a cosmic sound journey together. And welcome to Astrosonics, where astrology, sound, and intention come together to explore the energy of the cosmos through planetary frequencies. So each week we explore the astrology of the moment, not just to understand what's happening in the sky, but to experience these archetypal energies through the resonance of planetary tuning forks. And today we are exploring the full moon in Pisces, and this on the 28th of August at 2:18 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the moon is our focal planet, and she's sitting in Pisces opposite the sun in Virgo. And what's really interesting in the structure around this opposition is the moon is also opposite Mercury and the South Node, and while it's conjunct the North Node. So the Sun is part of the conjunction cluster with Mercury and South Node. It's creating a very clear access between what is familiar and what is calling us forward. And then we have the moon in a square with Uranus. It's adding an element of unpredictability and awakening. And surrounding all of that are some much softer, supportive relationships with Ceres, Mars, Chiron, Vesta, and along with some subtle semi-sextile relationships with Neptune, Pluto, and Juno. So rather than just one simple message, this full moon seems to offer a whole landscape to explore. It's reflective and receptive, and ultimately it's asking us to become more coherent about what we feel and what we know and where we're going. Before we dive in, just a quick note: if you'd like to experience your own Astrosonics tune-up, you'll find more details below. So each one does include a custom planetary sound bath, an in-depth astrological report, practical guidance based on your own birth chart or your solar return or the current transits, depending on which you choose to choose. And if you're enjoying these journeys, I'd love your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing this channel. You can also listen on Spotify if you prefer to listen in an audio-only experience. You also find more about my attuned coherent energy pendants. A lot of you have been asking about them, so there's more in the description if that resonate with you. And in this episode, we will be exploring the deeper meaning of this Pisces full moon and the lunar eclipse, the powerful relationship between the moon, the North Node, and the Sun-Mercury South Node cluster. And then we'll move into a planetary tuning fork sound bath, which is giving you some space to experience the symbology through sound. So settle in. This one is reflective, receptive, and coherent. And here is the astro breakdown. So we do have a full moon, and it's traditionally a moment of illumination. So the sun and the moon, they stand opposite one another, bringing something into greater awareness. And also we do have the lunar eclipse. So this symbolism becomes particularly more significant. Our focal planet is the moon in Pisces, and Pisces invites us into the realm of feeling, intuition, imagination, compassion, and the less tangible layers of experience. But opposite that is the sun in Virgo, and this brings us back towards discernment, refinement, practical awareness, and the questions of what can actually be integrated into everyday life. So there's an interesting conversation happening between feeling and discernment. And because the moon is conjunct the North Node, whilst it's opposing the Sun, Mercury, and the South Node, it becomes one of the defining structural features of this full moon. So it creates a symbolic movement between what is familiar and what is emerging. We've got the moon also squaring Uranus. This adds another layer. So something unexpected can interrupt the usual pattern. A new perspective or a sudden realization. So a different way of seeing something that we've perhaps been looking for or looking at for a long time. And we also have Ceres and Mars, and they form a harmonious relationship with the moon, while Chiron and Vesta offer additional pathways of integration. And we also have some subtle semi-sextiles with Neptune, Pluto, and Juno, and it brings a quieter adjustment into the picture. So the overall feeling isn't one of having to force an answer. It's more like allowing something to become clearer through clear enough that we can recognize it. So we do have the moon opposing the sun. So the Pisces moon brings us into feeling, intuition, and the inner landscape, while the Virgo sun asks us to bring awareness into the practical details of life. Pisces can sense the whole picture, and Virgo wants to understand what is actually useful, what needs refinement, and what can just be lived. And because this is also a lunar eclipse, it gives the moment an additional quality of reflection, a pause in which something that's already present can become more visible. And we have the moon opposite Mercury. So here we have feeling and thought standing across from one another. The moon in Pisces can speak through impressions, feelings, and intuitive knowing. Mercury in Virgo wants language. It wants detail. It wants to name things accurately. Sometimes what we feel doesn't arrive in a neat sentence. So this opposition can invite a gentle relationship between the two. And we have the moon in opposite with the South Node. So the South Node is associated symbolically with familiar patterns, established ways of responding, and the territory that we already know. So with the Pisces moon opposite the South Node, the emotional landscape may draw attention toward patterns and that feel deeply familiar. Now let's also have the moon in a conjunction with the North Node. So this is one of the most important relationships in the whole configuration. So the moon is sitting with the North Node, symbolically bringing feeling, instinct, and inner awareness into contact with the direction of growth represented by the North Node. This is where the eclipse axis becomes especially interesting, as the question isn't necessarily, what should I do? It might be something much more simple. What am I being drawn towards? So sometimes the next step isn't obvious intellectually. Sometimes it arrives in a quiet sense of recognition. So feeling that something has changed. So a sense that we're no longer quite the person who needed the old pattern. And with the moon here, feeling itself becomes part of the information. We also have the moon in a square with Uranus. So Uranus has a very different quality from the soft, receptive Pisces moon. It can introduce surprise, a change of perspective, or a disruption to the expected rhythm. So this is a dynamic energy, and it doesn't necessarily need to be acted upon immediately. So sometimes the most useful thing we can do with an unexpected insight is to just simply let it breathe. And we also have the moon in a trine with Ceres. The Ceres brings themes of nourishment, care, and cycles, and the way that we sustain ourselves and others. So this relationship adds warmth to this whole eclipse story. And we also have the moon trining Mars. There we go. So Mars gives the moon somewhere to move. The Pisces moon can be deeply receptive and sometimes sensing many things at once. And Mars introduces direction, action, and vitality. So in a trine, these qualities can work together more naturally. So feeling can inform action. Action can give feeling somewhere to go. So there's a sense here of moving from inner awareness towards something embodied. And we have a semi-sextile to Neptune. So the moon and Neptune, they share an affinity with the emotional, imaginative, and intuitive realms. And here their relationship is one of gentle adjustment. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It just feels something without immediately needing to define it. And the moon semi-sextile Pluto. Pluto adds depth. And with the moon in Pisces, that depth can feel less like external force and more like an awareness of what is moving underneath the surface. It's a subtle shift in emotional perspective. It's not necessarily about dramatic transformation. It could be much more intimate than that. We have the moon in a semi-sextile with Juno. Where are you, Juno? Juno brings themes of commitment, agreement, and the relationships that we consciously choose to honour. With the moon, this creates a subtle question around emotional truth and commitment. It's a gentle adjustment rather than a demand. It's like a chance to bring feeling and commitment a little closer together. We have moon in a sextile with Chiron. Chiron can symbolize the places where experience has shaped us deeply, including the wisdom that can emerge from what we've lived through. So Chiron is in a supportive relationship with the moon in this aspect. There can be room for emotional awareness to become compassionate rather than critical. And moon is in a sextile with the Vesta. Vesta speaks to devotion, focus, sacred attention, and the things that we choose to tend. Vesta asks, what is worthy of my attention and what deserves to be tended? So simply choosing what matters enough to give our presence to. So let's begin. Let's align with these planetary frequencies. So we've got the Moon, Sun, Mercury, South Nodes, North Nodes, represented by the Moon here. Ceres, Neptune, Pluto, Mars, Chiron, and Vesta. So I invite you to join me on this sacred sound journey. It's allowing your mind and your body to attune to these cosmic frequencies. Take a deep breath in. Release. Take another deep breath. Just letting go, bringing your awareness to your heart and softening into deep relaxation as you bathe in the frequency of the spheres. And our affirmation is, I anchor into coherent awareness, steadying my heart as I trust what I feel. I anchor into coherent awareness, steadying my heart as I trust what I feel. Just take a moment to integrate these planetary energies, just feeling balance and harmony within. And if you'd like your own personal planetary tuning fork sound bath, just check out the packages at astrojo.com. You get a personal astrosonic sound bath with your astro breakdown. You get a sound bath only version and an audio version so that you can listen on repeat whilst you meditate if you want to. If you want a quick tune up. And there's also a guide and a 90-page integration checklist, Astrosonics resonance summary, a full professional astrological report. So over 20 pages long. It's a deep dive into your natal chart, your solar return, or your transits. So it depends on which package you choose. And there's also a custom astrological chart that comes with it, the image of your chart. And so if you're curious about my Attune Coherence Bioresonance Jewelry, which is designed to anchor your nervous system and shield your biofield from modern environmental stress, you can find more at seventhplanehealings.com. It's on a leather cord. This is the 18-inch, and there's a 22-inch cord as well. You can get the faux leather if you don't want the kangaroo. Features a hand-wound bifilar copper coil. Nikola Tesla style is cut to the length of the sacred cubit, and it's imprinted with supportive frequencies using Rife technology and scalar field technology. This is the gold one. This is the rose gold. It also comes with a theta healing energy download imprinted into the pendant. So you just say yes, and that's available to you. And that's the silver one. And thank you for joining me on this cosmic sound adventure. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe if you want more weekly Astrosonics journey. Also a Spotify version if you prefer to listen that way. And let's tune into the universe together.